What are other misconceptions that the West has about the Arab world that you can think of?
It feels like every time I've lived in the West, it boggles my mind every time that still how people refuse, like they refuse to get to know us, or if you refuse to understand us, or refuse to even just Google us, there's some basic things that you can do. I don't think there's ever been a time I've been to the West where somebody, when they find out we're from Egypt, where somebody hasn't asked us. And I used to think this was a really cliche, but it actually does happen. People will actually ask us, so do you take a camel to school? Like, and my kids have all, without exception, at different, phases of their education where they've been in, whether they were in the UK, whether they were in Toronto, Toronto, where they went to school, and they went to school, as kids, and they went in university age. It's, I don't know why. I don't know why people choose to stay ignorant. I believe they choose. Um, So that's one thing. But I think the thing that people just miss, and I don't know why, is that we're just like everybody else. Like there's Arabs who are really, really good people, really, really nice people, and there's some who are not, just like everywhere in the world. There's people who are honest and transparent, and there's people who are, thieves and criminals, just like everywhere else. There's people who believe in God in a very, you know, sort of, I want to be careful with the words I use. Like, I don't want to say like extreme way. You have that in all countries. We have that here too, but we also have people who are very moderate and who, don't go to extreme lengths when it comes to their religions, and people who understand about other cultures. And I think the thing that is least understood about us is the extent to which we understand the West more than they understand us. Because just of our history and the history of colonization, we have so much more information and knowledge about, just from language. I mean, look at the percentage of Middle Easterners who speak English and French and Arabic compared to the percentage of Westerners who speak anything besides English. It almost doesn't exist in the West. So I think there's a huge misconception that we're not very educated, that we're not very knowledgeable, we're not very worldly. When, yeah, there are some of us who are like that for sure, 100%. We're not a different breed of humans. We're exactly the same breed as any other country. And there's some of us who are highly educated and some of us who are not. And I think the problem is that we're all sort of clumped together into one category of ignorant, uneducated extremists for the most part. Um, and I think people just have a responsibility, especially now. Like maybe if all you had before was just mainstream media to give you information about what the Middle East is and who the Middle Easterners are, you have so many other references right now to figure that out. And I always say, like I always tell my kids, the reason we take our kids and we travel with them and we take them to the other side of the world and we have them live in other countries is that's the best way to get to know another population, another nationality. And I wish that more people from the West would be willing to do that the other way around, because it's incredible when you just sit down. Like I used to because as a health coach, I used to attend these coaching conferences, most of them in North America, some of them in Europe. And I'd be maybe one of two Middle Easterners in the group, and the rest are all American women, Australian women, British women. And it doesn't take long for you to sit in a group of international women for you to forget what your nationality is. When you all start talking about your dreams and your desires and your family and your kids and your husbands and the problems you have and your health, it doesn't matter where you're from. You realize that the core is exactly the same. And I think what is missing is opportunities for people from both sides to be able to mix like that and to sort of shed the stereotypes on both sides. I mean, there's plenty of people in the Middle East who have very incorrect stereotypes of people in the West as well. So it isn't just something that it isn't just an issue with how Westerners view Middle Easterners. I think it works both ways. If you really think about it, it does work both ways. People have never left Egypt, or people who have never studied in an American school, or never had any experience with any, foreigner, will tell you the same thing. So I think it's something that and something like this podcast will address that. I think it's something that needs to be addressed, and we need to be able to reach out and really want to understand, because without actually wanting to, it'll be very artificial. There's no point. So have that desire to know and to understand and to empathize and to take a step back, and that despite our diversity, we're actually all the same.
Yeah, beautifully said. I think, because of the Western media, people might be scared to go to the Middle East and have that fear. But I can second, I've been to Beirut, I've been to Jordan, only the two, but
Yeah.
it really is such a beautiful place, beautiful places with beautiful people. So I hope people will start to open up and have that desire, like you said, to go visit.
I hope so. And all of I don't know anybody, all of my American friends and Western friends, and I'm sure you feel the same. As soon as they come here, they don't want to leave, and they love it, and they can't wait to come back. So it's magical in that way, and it's got that it pulls you in and it brings you in and it makes you see everything so differently when you experience it for yourself.